A torrential downpour drenches the battlefield, with thunder booming in the distance. The landscape is scarred, littered with the twisted bodies of dead monsters. The atmosphere is tense, foreboding a clash of epic proportions. A woman emerges from the darkness, her presence striking amidst the chaos. Her dagger gleams with fresh blood, a testament to her recent battle. Her gaze snaps into focus, locking onto a figure. A sly smile spreads across her face as she speaks. Qin Feng, you're really something. Her tone is laced with a mix of curiosity and amusement, hinting at a complicated past between her and Qin Feng. The mysterious lady's eyes gleam with interest as she continues. Even under a 100-fold accelerated aging effect, you still manage to clear the ancient god's ruins. But this divine artifact, the Eye of Judgment, I'll be taking it now. Qin Feng, battered and bruised, kneels amidst a mountain of dead monsters. His sword, still clutched in his hand, seems to be the only thing holding him upright. His body is a canvas of bloody wounds, a testament to the grueling trials he's faced. Qin Feng's body shudders as he coughs up blood, his vision blurring. Despite his frail state, he summons the strength to speak. Why? Why betray me at a time like this? His voice is laced with a mix of shock, pain, and desperation. The lady's betrayal cuts deeper than his physical wounds, and Qin Feng's eyes plead for an explanation. I'm your brother, Qin Xiao, you. As he speaks, Qin Feng slowly tries to rise up to his feet, his eyes locked onto the lady. His gaze burns with a deep sense of betrayal and hurt. The lady's expression remains enigmatic, her gaze unwavering as she holds the Eye of Judgment. Her eyes seem to bore into Qin Feng's very soul, as if searching for something. The air is heavy with tension, the only sound the heavy rainfall and distant thunder. Qin Zhao's voice drips with disdain as she responds, "Brother." A cold, mirthless laugh escapes her lips. "Ha, Qin Feng, you're nothing but an adopted child my parents took in. You don't even share my blood, and you dare call yourself my brother." Her words cut deep, slicing through Qin Feng's emotions like a razor. The truth hits him like a ton of bricks, leaving him reeling. Qin Feng's eyes widen in shock, his face pale. Just as Qin Zhao's words seem to crush Qin Feng's spirit, a new voice rings out. "Xiao Yu, that's no way to talk." Song Fei's sudden intervention startles Qin Xiao, who turns to face him. "Brother Song Fei?" Song Fei's expression is calm, but his words are laced with a hint of sarcasm. "This so-called brother of mine sure came in handy." As Song Fei hugs Qin Xiao, Song Fei's eyes gleam with malevolence as he addresses Qin Feng. "Qin Feng, I really should thank you. Song Fei and I would have never gotten this divine artifact." His words drip with sarcasm, and Qin Feng's eyes widen in horror as Song Fei continues. "To completely drain your lifespan in one go, I went through great lengths to obtain the soul-stealing blade that's now stabbed into your body." Song Fei's smile grows wider, his eyes glinting with sadistic pleasure. "So, do you like my parting gift?" Qin Feng's voice cracks with pain and regret. "Qin Xiaoyu, I raised you after our parents passed, supported you through school. After the game descended upon our world, I risked my life countless times for you." His words are laced with a deep sense of sorrow and betrayal. Qin Feng's eyes well up with tears as he gazes at Qin Xiao, his voice trembling. "I really misjudged you, my dear sister." The weight of Qin Xiao's betrayal crushes Qin Feng, leaving him breathless and broken. Qin Xiao's voice drips with venom, her words laced with a toxic mix of resentment and contempt. "After our parents died, you kept interfering in my life, bossing me around, controlling me." Her tone is tinged with a smirk, as if she's finally free to express her true feelings. "Before, when Song Fei and I needed your protection, you were still somewhat useful." Qin Zhao's gaze turns glacial, her eyes freezing Qin Feng in a cold, hard stare. "But now that we have the divine artifact, your only value is gone." Song Fei's eyes flash with a merciless glint as he draws both his swords. With a swift motion, he leaps towards Qin Feng, his blades poised for the kill. "Qin Feng, just die in peace already. I will take good care of Xiaoyu for you." Song Fei's declaration is laced with a sinister undertone, implying a dark and twisted relationship between him and Qin Xiao. His swords seem to hunger for Qin Feng's blood, and his attack appears imminent. With Song Fei's swords mere inches from his throat, Qin Feng summons the last vestiges of his energy. His voice thunders out, a fierce and defiant declaration. "Even if I die, I won't let you get away with this." Qin Feng's words hang in the air, a challenge to Song Fei and Qin Xiao. Despite his mortal wounds, he refuses to back down, his spirit unbroken. Qin Feng's defiant declaration is abruptly silenced as Song Fei's sword slices through the air, striking true. Qin Feng's head is separated from his body, his lifeless eyes frozen in a permanent stare. The rainfall around them seems to slow, as if even the heavens themselves are mourning Qin Feng's tragic demise. The sound of raindrops hitting the ground is the only sound that breaks the eerie silence. As Qin Feng's life force ebbs away, his mind begins to wander back to the fateful year of 2025. Memories of the godforsaken game's descent flood his thoughts. The godforsaken game descended. As long as a person falls asleep, they will be forcibly pulled into the game world. Qin Feng's eyes glaze over, his gaze lost in the past. He recalls the cruel mechanics of the game. The only currency in the game is lifespan. Dying causes a loss of lifespan, while killing monsters grants lifespan. Qin Feng's memories continue to unfold, revealing the shocking truth about the game's influence on reality. Players can spend lifespans to bring their in-game abilities into the real world. The implications are staggering. With their newfound powers, players can wreak havoc on the real world. The strong can tear apart tanks with their bare hands, slice through planes with a sword, and even withstand nuclear blasts with their own bodies. From that moment, the world changed drastically, and chaos spread. His voice is barely above a whisper, as if the weight of his memories is crushing him. I struggled to survive with my sister, enduring countless hardships. Qin Feng's eyes seem to glaze over, lost in the past. He recalls the endless battles, the sleepless nights, and the constant fear of death, barely making it into the top 100 global powerhouses. Qin Feng's memories surge forward, filled with a sense of pride and accomplishment. After overcoming endless dangers and barely escaping death countless times, I finally conquered the ancient god's ruins. His voice swells with excitement, recalling the thrill of victory. I obtained the artifact, Eye of Judgment. At last, I had the qualifications to reach the peak. Qin Feng's memories come full circle, returning to the moment when his sister, Qin Xiao, betrayed him. After remembering the scene when his sister stabs him, his thoughts trail off, consumed by a mix of shock, pain, and regret. But who would have thought? Qin Feng's voice barely above a whisper, his words are laced with a deep sense of sorrow and regret. The price of my success was the betrayal of my only family. As Qin Feng's head falls, his thoughts spiral into a dark abyss of despair. So all my efforts in life amounted to nothing but interference. The weight of his sacrifices, the struggles he endured, and the triumphs he achieved all seem hollow now. His existence, once filled with purpose, has been reduced to a mere obstacle. So all my struggles only paved the way for someone else's success. Qin Feng's mind is consumed by the bitter taste of betrayal. With his life force ebbing away, Qin Feng's mind burns with a fierce determination. I refuse to accept this. His final thought, a vow to himself, echoes through his mind. If I could live again, I would only fight for myself. As the scene shifts, Qin Feng sleeps in his room, a gentle smile on his face. That Qin Feng's experiences were merely a dream. Qin Feng's peaceful slumber is shattered as he bolts upright, his eyes wide with shock and fear. As he sits in the bed, his gaze darts wildly around the room. His voice barely above a whisper, he asks himself the question that has been haunting him. Where is this? The real world? Qin Feng's fingers brush against his neck, as if searching for the fatal wound he remembers. While touching his neck, he whispered to himself, wasn't I already dead? His eyes widen in alarm as he scrambles to grab the phone beside him. He frantically checks the date, and his face contorts in shock. After grabbing the phone near him, he checks the year, and then, in shock, whisper, 2025. Qin Feng's gaze drifts toward the window, and he cautiously approaches it, as if fearful of what he might see. As he checked outside of the windows, as he finds things, he asks himself, could it be? He pauses. For a moment, his eyes scan the familiar landscape, and his mind begins to whirl with the implications, before the truth crashes down on him. I've been reborn. Back to 9 years ago, the day the godforsaken game descended. Sometime later, Qin Xiao kicks the door open and enters the house in anger. Her face is a picture of fury, her eyes blazing with a fierce intensity as she storms into the house. Qin Feng walks calmly into the room, a cup of water in hand, his eyes fixed on Qin Zhao's irate form. Qin Zhao's anger boils over, her voice rising in indignation. Qin Feng, you really are home. Why didn't you answer my call? Her words are laced with a mix of relief and annoyance, but Qin Feng's expression remains serene. Qin Zhao's anger reaches a boiling point, and she kicks the dustbin, sending its contents flying. Her voice rises in defiance as she begins to explain herself. What? I just went to support Brother Song Fei. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? You don't even understand how important it was for me to go support him this time. Qin Feng's expression remains calm, but his mind is racing with the memories of his past life. As expected, on the day the Forsaken game descended, Qin Xiaoyu had a big fight with me because of Song Fei. Qin Feng's thoughts continue, revealing the truth about Song Fei. Before the game descended, Song Fei was a somewhat famous underground idol, and Qin Xiaoyu was his obsessed fan. In the background, Qin Zhao's voice rises in indignation. Those groupies and fangirls have already started to infringe upon my brother's interests. I must go support him. And those damn stalkers and saying fans are disgusting. They cling to my brother like a sticky plaster. Her words are laced with venom, but Qin Feng remains unfazed. Now that my brother's in crisis, and you're here constantly obstructing me, cutting off my money, and not letting me rank up, it's all your fault if I end up like a small shrimp. Qin Feng's expression doesn't change, but his thoughts reveal a darker truth. Song Fei seems glamorous on the surface, but in reality, he's a complete scumbag who has tricked many of his female fans out of money and their bodies. Qin Feng's thoughts reveal his motivations for keeping Qin Xiao away from Song Fei. To prevent Qin Xiaoyu from being scammed, I've always forbidden her from hanging around that guy, but in the end, I was accused of controlling her life. Qin Zhao's voice cuts through Qin Feng's thoughts, her anger and frustration boiling over. Hey, are you deaf? I'm talking to you. Why are you acting like you can't hear me? It's all because of you that my brother dropped off the top rank this month. If you don't give me money to rank up, I'll... Her threats escalate, but before she can continue, Qin Feng's hand flashes out, delivering a sharp slap to Qin Zhao's face. The slap leaves Qin Xiao stunned, her eyes wide with shock and silence. The slap's impact is immense, sending Qin Xiao crashing to the ground. The force of the blow leaves her stunned, her eyes wide with shock and tears welling up. The room falls silent, the only sound the heavy breathing of the two siblings. Qin Zhao's body trembles with fear, her hands instinctively rising to cradle her battered cheeks. Tears stream down her face, mingling with the blood that flows from her lips and nose. The brutal slap has left Qin Xiao shattered, her physical and emotional pain evident in her trembling form. Qin Feng, you actually hit me? Qin Xiao asked. Qin Xiao looks up at Qin Feng with fear-filled eyes, and he responds with a stern warning. With a fearsome look, Qin Feng replies, Qin Xiao, I don't have the time or mood to argue with you today, but if you keep barking at me, I'll smash that mouth of yours. Qin Feng's words are laced with a quiet menace, leaving Qin Xiao cowering in fear. He continues, his voice firm but controlled. This is the money left by our parents. No matter how hard I've been these years, I never touched a single cent. With a sudden motion, Qin Feng throws the bank cards at Qin Zhao's head. I'll return it all to you today. Qin Feng opens the door to his room, his gaze fixed intently on Qin Zhao. His words are laced with a quiet determination. For our parents' sake, I won't stoop to your level, but listen up, from now on. I, Qin Feng, will have no sister like you. The weight of Qin Feng's words hangs in the air, a palpable tension between the two siblings. With a final glance, Qin Feng steps into his room, closing the door behind him. Qin Zhao's face contorts in anguish as she bursts into tears, her hands instinctively rising to cradle her battered cheeks. Her body shudders with sobs, the pain and hurt etched on her face a heart-wrenching sight. The sound of her tears echoes through the empty hallway, a poignant reminder of the emotional turmoil that has unfolded. Inside his room, Qin Feng's thoughts drift to his past life, a mix of regret and longing etched on his face. His inner monologue reveals a deep-seated sense of sacrifice. In my past life, to protect Qin Xiaoyu, I missed too many opportunities. Qin Feng's eyes seem to gaze into the distance, memories of missed chances flooding his mind. Too many secret treasures and dungeons that needed risk-taking exploration, I gave up on. The weight of his past regrets hangs in the air, a poignant reminder of the choices Qin Feng made to protect Qin Xiaoyu, and the opportunities that slipped through his fingers. Qin Feng's hand reaches for a bottle of sleeping pills, his thoughts continuing down a path of introspection. A hint of curiosity creeps into his inner monologue. I'm also curious, without this burden, how far can I go? With a resolute expression, Qin Feng swallows the sleeping pills, his eyes gleaming with a fierce determination. His inner monologue reveals a bold plan, forged from the experiences of his past life. This time, I use my understanding of the game from my past life to stay ahead of everyone. Qin Feng's thoughts drifted to Qin Xiaoyu, a mix of emotions swirling in his mind. He thought to himself, Qin Xiaoyu, you're on your own now. As he reflected on their complicated past, Qin Feng's actions seemed to echo his thoughts. He placed a cup of water on the table, a simple yet deliberate gesture that spoke volumes about his state of mind. As Qin Feng settled onto his bed, his thoughts began to wander, and a familiar face came into focus. Song Fei. The mere memory of him ignited a fire within Qin Feng's chest, and his anger began to simmer. His eyes narrowed, and his jaw clenched as he made a solemn vow to himself. I'll personally take your head. The intensity of his emotions seemed to fuel his determination, and with a fierce resolve burning within him, Qin Feng's eyelids grew heavy, his breathing slowed, and he drifted into a deep sleep, his mind still fueled by the burning desire for revenge. As Qin Feng's physical body surrendered to the allure of sleep, a strange and wondrous phenomenon occurred. He was being drawn into the world of the game, a realm where the laws of physics were twisted, and the fabric of reality was woven from the threads of code and imagination. Qin Feng's awareness began to expand, and he felt the thrill of excitement coursing through his digital veins. As Qin Feng's gaze swept across the familiar landscape, a wave of nostalgia washed over him. A faint smile played on his lips as he spoke to himself, his voice tinged with a mix of fondness and determination. The Career Choice Hall. I really miss it. Memories of his first visit to this sacred place came flooding back, and Qin Feng's eyes sparkled with amusement. I remember the first time I came here. I was so nervous that it took me several hours to complete my career choice and leave. The nostalgia was fleeting, however, as Qin Feng's expression turned resolute. This time, I need to be quicker. As Qin Feng walked through the Career Choice Hall, he was met with an array of options, each one representing a unique path and set of abilities. He passed by several choices, his eyes scanning the various classes, until he came to a stop in front of the warrior class. A hint of nostalgia washed over him as he thought back to his past life. In my past life, I chose the warrior to protect Qin Xiaoyu. His eyes seemed to gaze into the distance, memories of his time as a warrior flooding his mind. The warrior wasn't weak, but it's not the right fit for me anymore. Qin Feng's expression turned resolute, his thoughts reflecting his newfound freedom. Without Qin Xiaoyu's burden, I'll be able to clear solo much faster. As Qin Feng turned away from the warrior class, his mind began to whirl with thoughts of his ideal class. He thought to himself, mobility and reaction time are most important. His eyes seemed to gleam with a newfound sense of purpose, as if the path ahead was becoming clearer. With a sense of conviction, he made his decision. It's decided. With a fierce determination burning within him, Qin Feng declared, "This life, I'll choose assassin." His hand reached out, and he touched the assassin class symbol. The moment his skin made contact with the icon, a sudden surge of energy erupted around him. The air seemed to shimmer and distort, as if the very fabric of reality was being manipulated. A blue, pulsating aura began to envelop Qin Feng, imbuing him with an otherworldly power. As the energy from the assassin class still swirled around him, Qin Feng's gaze fell upon a sudden influx of system messages. His eyes widened in astonishment as he read the words, "Divine Artifact, Eye of Judgment, has been successfully bound." The message seemed to hang in the air, its implications sinking in like a thunderclap. Qin Feng's jaw dropped, and he became utterly speechless. As the system message flashed before his eyes, Qin Feng's surroundings transformed in an instant. A colossal, ethereal eye materialized above him, its gaze piercing the air like a celestial sentinel. The eye pulsed with an otherworldly energy, as if it held the power to see through the very fabric of reality. The system's voice echoed in his mind, revealing the unique characteristics of the Eye of Judgment. Unique attribute, Authority of Judgment. Qin Feng's eyes widened as he grasped the implications of this attribute, but the system's message didn't end there. Authority passive. When entering the Forsaken game, you will automatically gain the highest-ranked profession and talent. As the reality of the situation sank in, Qin Feng's face lit up with unbridled joy. His thoughts swirled with excitement. The Eye of Judgment has bound itself to me after my rebirth, so that's how it is. A look of understanding dawned on his face as the truth became clear. As long as the artifact recognizes its master, even if it's stolen, it's useless. A sense of wonder crept into his thoughts. Perhaps I was reborn because of it. As Qin Feng basked in the glory of having the Eye of Judgment bound to him, a sudden and ominous change occurred. A dark, foreboding aura began to seep into his body, like a cold, malevolent mist. Qin Feng's eyes widened in shock as he felt the black energy coursing through his veins. He was unable to comprehend what was happening, his mind reeling in confusion. The dark aura continued to envelop him, shrouding his body in an inky, impenetrable veil. Qin Feng's vision began to blur, and his senses grew numb. Just as he felt like he was being consumed by the darkness, a system message flashed before his eyes. "Congratulations. You have gained a hidden profession." As Qin Feng stood enveloped by the dark aura, the air around him began to flicker with a flurry of system messages. Currently specializing. The words flashed by in rapid succession, each one building upon the last. Specialization 10%, 20%, 30%. The progress bar ticked upward, the percentage increasing with each passing moment. Specialization 90%, 95%, 100%. Finally, the message Qin Feng had been waiting for appeared. Specialization complete. As the completion message flashed before his eyes, the dark aura that had shrouded him began to dissipate, slowly fading away like mist in the morning sun. Qin Feng's figure began to take shape once more, and he slowly emerged from the darkness. As Qin Feng stepped out of the dissipating darkness, a final system message flashed before his eyes. You have become Shadow. The words seemed to echo through the air, imbuing Qin Feng's very being with an aura of mystery and stealth. His eyes gleamed with a newfound intensity, and his presence seemed to blend seamlessly into the shadows. As Qin Feng's dark aura swirled around him, he felt an intoxicating sense of power and potential. His thoughts turned inward, and he couldn't help but marvel at his newfound profession. Shadow. So this is the highest tier hidden profession for assassins. A hint of awe crept into his voice as he contemplated the implications. Completely different from the warrior I chose in my previous life. Just gaining this profession gives me such power. As Qin Feng's fingers traced the contours of his face, he felt the subtle yet profound changes that had taken place within him. His thoughts turned inward, and he pondered the mysteries of his newfound profession. Every profession has a very small chance of unlocking its hidden higher-tier profession, and the authority of judgment actually makes this probability a certainty. A look of curiosity crossed his face as he contemplated the true nature of the authority of judgment. What exactly is it? As Qin Feng's thoughts continued to probe the mysteries of the authority of judgment, a series of system messages flashed before his eyes, shedding light on the true nature of this ancient power. Authority of judgment, the most genuine and ancient primal authority in the universe. The words echoed in his mind, conveying the weight of the authority's significance. Its power surpasses rules and order. A hint of disappointment crept into his thoughts as he read the next line. You temporarily cannot actively activate this authority as you do not possess divinity. But his disappointment was short-lived, as the final message offered a glimmer of hope, but its passive effect is active. Shock and awe etched on his face. Qin Feng's thoughts trailed off into stunned silence. A primal authority that surpasses rules and order? As Qin Feng floated in stunned silence, his mind began to wander back to his past life, recalling the events that had transpired during the God-forsaken game. In my previous life, it wasn't until the 7th year after the God-forsaken game descended that a strong player managed to leave the God's abandoned realm and reach the realm of order. Qin Feng's thoughts were tinged with a mix of nostalgia and awe. Only then did humanity learn about the existence of order's power. A hint of irony crept into his thoughts as he recalled the aftermath. But in fact, even years later, no one ever obtained the power of order. I never expected. Now, at the start of my journey, I've already gained the primal authority that surpasses order and rules. A fierce grin spread across his face as he contemplated the possibilities. As long as I can leave the God's abandoned realm and obtain divinity, I can activate this authority. A newfound sense of purpose dawned on him, and Qin Feng's eyes burned with an unyielding resolve. Looks like I have another goal this life. The sudden appearance of the system message caught Qin Feng off guard. Profession choice complete. Please enter your game alias. His eyes widened in surprise as he stared at the prompt, his mind momentarily blank. Then, a hint of a smile played on his lips as he thought to himself, game alias, ha. With a gentle touch, Qin Feng's finger grazed the system screen, and a soft, pulsing light enveloped his hand. A quiet confidence emanated from him as he spoke. Since my profession is born from the shadow, I'll go with shadow. Entering the God's abandoned realm, a system message echoed in his mind, and Qin Feng gazed out at the ruined land before him. The air was thick with an eerie, unsettling energy. This is a ruined land, filled with countless monsters. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed as he listened to the system's warning. Be careful, they are always ready to tear you apart and steal your lifespan. As Qin Feng continued to take in his surroundings, another series of system messages flashed before his eyes. Leave the town, kill monsters, and you will earn tradable lifespan. However, the next message served as a stark reminder of the risks involved. But if you die in the game, you will lose half your lifespan, both tradable and non-tradable. The final message provided more information about his current location. This area, Shell Town, is a safe zone. There are no monsters here, and players cannot attack each other. Lifespan loss speed, 1x. A fat player approached a brown-haired guy, asking, "Hey, where's this place? What profession, alias? The brown-haired player rubbed his temples, looking bewildered. I just got off my night shift and lay down. Am I hallucinating? The fat player chuckled nervously. I don't know. I just ate all night and finally fell asleep. Then how did I end up here? The brown-haired guy's expression turned serious. It hurts. This isn't a dream. It seems we've been pulled into some kind of game. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed as he listened in on the conversation. He thought to himself, have so many people been pulled into the game already? As Qin Feng continued to observe the commotion around him, a sudden murmur of excitement rippled through the crowd. One of them asked, what profession is that? Why does it look so different from ours? Another player replied, I don't know, but from the dagger in his hand, he's probably an assassin. A third player chimed in, I'm an assassin too, but how come I'm not as cool as him? Look, he even has skills. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed slightly as he listened to the conversation. He thought to himself, if we want to be ahead of them, we can't wait. Practice doesn't wait for anyone. As Qin Feng covered his face, a group of people suddenly materialized in front of him, their teleportation seemingly random and uncontrolled. One of them let out a pained yelp as they stumbled and fell to the ground. Ouch! They cried out, clutching at their injured limb. Another member of the group looked around, taking in their surroundings with a mixture of confusion and alarm. Ah, it hurts! Ha! So, if we die, we return to the town, they exclaimed, their eyes wide with fear and uncertainty. The group's conversation was laced with fear and panic as they recounted their harrowing encounter with the wild monsters. Those wild monsters are way too strong. One bite and we're half dead. How can we fight it? One of them exclaimed, their voice trembling with anxiety. Another member of the group shook their head. Isn't that just a weak level 1 crawler? Why did we only manage to take a third of its health together? Their concerns were interrupted by a blood-curdling scream from another group member. Ah, my lifespan. I lost half of it. The group members, their faces etched with worry and concern, turned to Sister Lizzie in unison, asking, Sister Lizzie, what should we do now? Their voices were laced with desperation, seeking guidance and reassurance from their apparent leader. However, Sister Lizzie was still reeling from the pain of her fall, clutching her head and wincing in discomfort. Qin Feng's eyes lingered on Lizzie, his mind racing with observations and deductions. He noted the unusual equipment she wielded, and a spark of curiosity ignited within him. Archers start with short bows. Looks like she's a hidden class too, Qin Feng thought to himself, his gaze still fixed on Lizzie. Just then, Lizzie's gaze shifted, her eyes locking onto Qin Feng. Lizzie approached Qin Feng, a hint of determination in her steps. She looked up at him with a serious expression, her voice laced with a hint of desperation. Big brother, you seem to be a hidden class too. Want to team up with us? The monsters outside are really strong, we can't handle them alone. Our team has been wiped out once, we have experience. Qin Feng's eyes narrowed slightly as he listened to Lizzie's proposal. He thought to himself, ha, is it the experience from being killed? A faint smirk played on his lips, but he quickly suppressed it. Instead, he replied in a neutral tone, no need. As Qin Feng turned to leave, the group members began to mock him, their voices dripping with sarcasm and amusement. Not talking, pretending to be a pro, one of them jeered. All 5 of us couldn't beat them, and you think you can do it alone? Another chimed in, chuckling. A third member of the group found the situation hilarious. This is hilarious. We've all said how dangerous it is outside, yet you are going alone, seeking death. Another group member chimed in, don't be like that, they're the noble hidden class, and an assassin type. If you can't beat them, you can just run. As Qin Feng walked away, Lizzie's eyes narrowed slightly. She opened the system menu and focused on Qin Feng's status window. Her eyes scanned the information, and her expression changed to one of surprise. Alias, Shadow, she muttered to herself, a hint of disdain in her voice. Lizzie's eyes rolled in exasperation. TCH, really acting high. As Qin Feng reached the exit of the town, Lizzie's eyes sparkled with a mischievous glint. She turned to her group and whispered, let's go, let's follow and see what skills he has. Maybe we can get some new info on monsters. Her group nodded in agreement, their faces set with determination. Lizzie's smirk grew wider as she continued, and maybe, she paused, her voice dripping with sarcasm, we'll see how he dies. Friends, the chapter ends here. To everyone watching, thank you for joining us on this adventure. If you're eager to find out what happens next, please do comment below, asking for more chapters. Don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing. Until next time, stay tuned.